What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D's show is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.
What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D's show is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.
What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D's show is raw and uncensored.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. What's up, DzPeepz? This is your girl D coming at you with this sweet, piping hot tea. So sit on down and enjoy the show because Just D's show is raw and uncensored. Thanks for watching.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for your patience. Let me make sure the background music volume is okay. Okay, sound like it was a little bit loud. All right, so thank everybody for tuning in. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm tired, but I want to do this live, especially after the research that I did earlier today, and then the conversation I had with my good friend and sis, Amanda. I'm pretty sure she's asleep because, she goes to bed early. And I was telling her, I said, well, me and my crew are night owls, so you might have to catch the replay. So we're going to try to do the panel discussion possibly tomorrow. I got to check with her and, get with her on her schedule. Hold on. Because everything that we both saw in our premonitions between 2011, 2012, because we actually met in 2011 at school. Between 2012 and 2013, we both had multiple premonitions exactly the same in our own apartments. So when we were talking earlier, she was like, it's crazy because everybody around me thinks I'm crazy and they don't get it. I said, because they're not the chosen. See, that vision that they showed me in heaven with Gog versus Magog and the double doors represented the mass majority of people that are followers. And they're going to just follow all the false prophets. And only those, like I said, that were the chosen could actually see the narrow door that said Yeshua, the true Christ, also known as Jesus, the false Christ. So it is surreal. That's what we both were talking about. Like, it's surreal seeing all of these things manifest. And she remembers the last time I saw my dad, because I went to visit her. She was living in Seattle at that time, and I went to visit her and her daughter and stayed there for, I think I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And that was the first time I had a Washington homegirl, and that shit was, oh, I loved it. And then my dad was telling me what all to do to prepare to get off grid. And literally everything my father told me has happened. Like, people would call my dad a conspiracy theorist. And a lot of the things that my dad told me, my grandfather, who was in the military, also told me. And again, it's like when the deja vu becomes, when it manifests into reality, it's crazy. Because we've seen this, 13 years ago. And I even remember telling her that we would be separated for a time, and then God was going to bring us back together when it was time for us to come back together for a divine purpose to awaken the people. And her platform is growing, and I'm so proud of her, because Amanda's journey, I'm going to let her tell it, but it's amazing because she literally escaped death when her ex tried to take her life. And I was like just reminiscing on that today. I said, I remember when that happened, and that happened all during the pandemic too. And we didn't know if she was dead or alive, like none of us did, for weeks. And I went into spiritual warfare, and I started communicating with those demons that were on her husband. And I said, you do not have any dominion over her. And I remember I channeled him. I saw what he was doing to her. And I of course couldn't get to her because I was all the way in Florida and she was back home. And her other friend was crying because she thought she was dead. I said, oh, she's not dead. He just has her tied up. He literally had her tied up. He had kidnapped her and her daughters, beat her in front of them, and assaulted her and the girls. And to see her not only survive that, but to be speaking about God and trying to prepare the people on her own platform, I was like, I don't think you see how resilient you are, because most women probably would have taken their lives. So I'm really grateful that we are at this place, in time and space, and everything that we were shown individually and together is and has manifested. So my focus tonight is, of course, the U.S. Declaring bankrupt and the Mark of the Beast RFID chip implant that is going to, temporarily be, how do I say? It's going to be advertised as a choice, but eventually it will be mandated. And everybody that doesn't get the chip implant is going to be cut off from society and removed from the grid. So that's what I was talking about on the last live. It's time to prepare. Ezekiel 38:7, be thou prepared. It's time to prepare, and it is time for the dead in Christ to rise, which means your consciousness awakening and ascending to the Most High God in heaven's consciousness. When you resonate with God's frequency, because God is not a man or a woman and God has no humanity. When you resonate with God's frequency, you become a walking manifestation of God, both human and divine, just as Yeshua was, the true Christ. Yeshua was out in the streets talking to the people, telling people about God, about faith, healing people, guiding people, spoke out against religion, spoke out against the Pharisees and Sadducees, all the fake-ass holy rollers, all the fake-ass religious leaders, the false prophets. Many will come in Christ's name, but will not actually, a lot of them are false prophets. Let's just be honest. And the wheat is being separated from the chaff. The chosen are being separated. Come out from among them and be ye separate, says the Lord. So it's time. The distractions, the bullshit, ain't anybody got time for that. It's time to get prepared because this is real. This is not a conspiracy theory. Everything that I'm showing y'all tonight, I was shown in heaven. And what's ironic is that happened to me in 2008. I didn't meet Amanda until 2011. And then we kept having the same premonitions. I'm in my apartment, she's in her apartment. I have a premonition, I see her premonition. I'm like, bro, we seeing the same shit? And I'm going to show y'all how a lot of the information that we both found has been scrubbed from the internet, including not just YouTube, actual websites that had information that gave details about exactly what they're doing now. Agenda 2030, that started in 2015 for a global one world united. So the FEMA camps with the coffins, I was talking to y'all about that last night. I found all of that. I'm about to show y'all so many different videos from over a decade ago. Evidence of all this stuff I've been telling you. And if you are the chosen, you're going to see it. If this seems crazy to you, or if you feel like this is a conspiracy theory, you are truly what the Bible speaks of when it says the dead in Christ. That means you are consciously and spiritually dead, and your third eye has not unlocked yet. If you're still conditioned by religion, your third eye has not unlocked yet. Because every religion has a foundation in Freemasonry, not just Christianity. All of them do. They were all started by Freemasons, and Freemasons, during their initiation, are required to pledge to Lucifer. I'm going to be showing all of this tonight because it's time. I know the time frame that I'm going to no longer be accessible to anybody, and that's coming swiftly. I'm getting off the grid early because I know exactly when all of this is going to pop off. If I were you, I would be learning how to live off the land, how to grow all of your food, how to produce solar panel electricity, how to purify and clean water, how to make the items that you purchase. I already make damn near all of mine. I make deodorant, lip balm, feminine wash, shampoo, laundry soap. Next, I'm working on a bar soap. Like, what is coming is not to be feared, it's to prepare for. Because at the end of the day, the chosen will be provided for, we will be protected. All right, so everybody, thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time on my channel, thank you and welcome to D's World. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Give me 1 second. There we go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. That way you get notified every time I go live or upload. For those that would like to support the platform, feel free to drop a blessing into my Cash App. And for those who have not already, make sure that you are subscribing to me on rumble.com. I can't really say that. Depending on other things that may be going on this weekend, I might do the watch party this weekend, but I can't confirm just yet because I need to find out about the event on Sunday. And shout out, by the way, to Baby Savage. Shout out to Little Flip the Freestyle King. Shout out to Loud Music. Shout out to Up Above Entertainment, Clover G Records, the Screwed Up Clique, and all of the H-Town legends. Shout out to those who are following the path of the Most High God. Shout out to Zaytoven. Shout out to the people in the industry that are not selling their souls. I'm always going to promote y'all, and I am very grateful to God to see so many people not ashamed to give God glory and honor on their platforms. So shout out to all of you. Y'all don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Because if you're here, you like me. Even if you're a troll or a real reject of YouTube, one of the Jaguar Ride Garbage Pail members, hit the like on your way in. And thank you to everybody that has been signing the petition. Don't forget to share the petition, family. We need to get to the first 1,000 signatures ASAP, because all of this is going into my personal litigation against those who have committed cyberbullying and gang stalking on my channel and on theirs as well. So y'all make sure to continue to share the petition and sign it. And for all the delusional real rejects of YouTube, all of y'all, I'm going to need y'all to visit BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com is your friend. Hit the link. Po little tink tank. Okay? All the relatives, the lion-ass relatives, fake supporters, hit the link. Po little tink tank and get the help that you so desperately need. Now, again, I'm going to be covering, let me pull it up actually. Oh shit, I forgot I had so many. I was doing a lot of research today. Oh, and I forgot to talk about this too. Uncle Nearest. Wait, I gotta talk about that first. With Jay-Z. Yeah, let's talk about this right quick. Okay. Yeah, see, because all of the things that I said in 2025 are happening as we speak. Andrew, good to see you. Neptune, thank y'all for tuning in. All the new people that have recently subscribed to the channel, I want to give a shout out to the new DzPeepz. Thank you so much for subscribing, especially those of y'all that have come over from Instagram. Thank you. And shout out to those of y'all, I was talking too fast, that told me on Instagram you was gonna come watch, did watch, and then subscribed, and then DM. Thank you for that. I appreciate your feedback. So, because this popped up actually as I was researching earlier today. Judge rejects Uncle Nearest bankruptcy filing as $100 million lawsuit heats up in court. Now, y'all remember, I think it was about a week ago I covered this. Uncle Nearest this is all connected to Jay-Z. So on Thursday, a federal judge blocked a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing made by Uncle Nearest founder Fawn Weaver. It was the latest in a series of attempts by Weaver to reclaim her whiskey brand, which is currently under a court-ordered receivership amid allegations of defaulting on over $100 million in loans. That's a whole lot of debt. God damn. The legal drama kicked off last August when Kentucky-based lender Farm Credit Mid-America, FCMA, alleged that the whiskey maker had failed to pay principal and interest payments multiple times. FCMA alleges that proceeds from a loan were used to purchase a Martha Vineyard home worth more than $2 million, and recently accused the Weavers of hiding a separate $20 million loan given by music mogul Jay-Z. Jay-Z, why the fuck you keep turning up in all these goddamn cases? Is it maybe because when Just D Show predicted last year that your ass was going to jail that I was right? Because I tried to tell everybody, I said, this man is under investigation for so many, multiple lawsuits involving money defaulting, loans defaulting, money laundering, accusations of RICO, accusations of allowing CASHAPP and, blockchain to be used allegedly for sex trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking. I mean, your name is in all the wrong places in the media. And just don't think the money and the connections you have are going to work because Mr. Lay Your Head on My Pillow, Leor Cohen, he's about to take that 6-foot nap. All of these people that have been protecting you are old as shit. They don't have much time left, according to what I've seen in the spiritual realm. So, sir, if I was you, Mr. I got all the money in the world, you might need to help your girl, okay? Because things ain't looking good for her or you. And your name, again, keeps being connected to bullshit. And all of it involves money. I remember when Jonathan Hay, shout out to Jonathan Hay, by the way. King, I've been definitely keeping you in my prayers. I remember when Jonathan Hay talked about how, a lot of people kept reporting that he was like, now Diddy at least pays on time, but Jay-Z doesn't pay. How you got all that fucking money and you cheap? With them ugly ass, Timu ass, fucking dookie braid ass looking ass dreads. You know good and goddamn well you got them dreads off of Timu because they do not match your nappy roots. But I'm going to need you to explain why the fuck you tied to another lawsuit. Talking about defaulting on a $100 million loan and she got 20 mil from you. Interesting. Very interesting. And then right after she names you, all of a sudden, she's asking for a gag order. Uncle Nearest receiver as judge for gag order against founder Fawn Weaver. Because I think she might be, might be about to expose some shit about you. Because everybody say you do anything to protect your image. You know that God said, thou shalt have no other gods besides me. Thou shalt not create gods in other images. The term image is idolatry in and of itself. Because an image is a false persona of who you are not. Now, if you got all that goddamn money, how the fuck you owe some, how, Sway? All these goddamn financial lawsuits. That's why the fuck Diddy said he was gonna have the last laugh, because he knew the fuck shit you was on behind closed doors, allegedly. And all commentary on my channel is alleged, outside of my real life experience and my spiritual gifts and my own opinion. Okay? The receiver attempting to keep the Trouble Uncle Nearest whiskey and bourbon brand afloat is asking the federal judge to issue a gag order on founder Fawn Weaver. And again, interesting how this happened right after your name was connected to this bullshit. The receiver made the unusual request in addition to reiterating his previous request for financial sanctions against Weaver after she filed bankruptcy, a move later dismissed as improper. Weaver has filed an intent to appeal the bankruptcy decision. In a filing late Monday, receiver Philip Young told U.S. District Judge Charles E. Ashley Jr. that Weaver's communications last week about filing for bankruptcy caused considerable confusion, so much so that one distillery employee quit because of the whiplash. I mean, goddamn, I could see it. Because that is a complete 360 right there. How come every time Jay-Z's involved, people got to sign NDAs or start asking for gag orders or cases start getting dismissed with prejudice? People start changing their story, and then later down the road be like, well, Jay-Z told me to say that. You told Jonathan Haid a fucking lie about your alleged sexual relationship with Rihanna back in the day. The woman that said she was that 13-year-old victim that accused Diddy and you of allegedly raping her during a VMAs after party, all of a sudden whiplash too and changed her story. Every time your motherfucking ugly ass, Timu ass, dreads looking ass gets involved, all of a sudden people be switching up. Maybe it's because there is some truth, allegedly, to you being some sort of a fucking warlock. Because I just refuse to believe that people are this afraid of you as a man. Because you old as hell. You knocking on 60 though. I'm not afraid of a geriatric that claims he moved bricks, but you sold a fucking mid-grade pre-rolled joint for $50. And anybody, if you know, you know. Ain't nobody fucking with that in no hood. Nowhere. Not even where I'm from. I think I was right when I said you were going to be arrested by 2027, and then your mail order bride, who's been accused of extreme witchcraft, I think she gonna be right behind your ass. And if her mama survives, she gonna be behind y'all ass too, serving that witchcraft ass, nasty ass, wannabe gumbo ass, looking like soupy, runny ass, goulash, runny, shitty soup. And everybody getting sick. It's just something to y'all whole family being full of shit. And then your goddamn mail order bride, they having fucking Beyonce masses, worshiping this bitch in church. It's the idolatry for me. That's why God's about to bring your stupid ass down. So I just had to touch on that right quick before we get right into tonight's subject. Because I just love it when the media confirms things that I told y'all last year was going to happen, and then it happens. Now, the subject is in. You know, I'm mad at the way MSN worded this shit here, talking about broke, busted, disgusted. Is the U.S. bankrupt? Well, apparently it declared that. Technically, it said it's insolvent. A news report reveals that the U.S. government is insolvent. Now, for those who may not know what this word means, let me go on and show y'all. Because ain't nothing wrong if you don't know what insolvent means. I want you to know what it means, which is why I'm showing you the definition, okay? Insolvent means unable to meet debts. I know I'm tired. Unable to meet debts and discharge liabilities. And then it says bankrupt. Insufficient to meet all debts. Now, the reason this is funny to me, y'all let a man who was already in debt run the fucking country. What did you expect? As much Trump debt this motherfucker got? Do you know how in debt Trump is to Putin Vladimir and his family in the country of Russia? Do y'all now understand why Russia is going to end up taking over America? Because you let a man who's in debt, who has felonies, who literally filed for bankruptcy right before he became president, and now the United States, they saying, is broke, busted, and disgusting. Now, y'all can say you broke, busted, and disgusting. I don't use them words. I am always manifesting, praying to manifest. But they say in the whole U.S. is broke, busted, and disgusted. Because the motherfucker in office was broke, busted, and disgusted before y'all put his stupid ass in office. I'm just saying. It's like common sense. That's like, okay. You grab a group of people and you run their credit score. And the one with the lowest credit score, you choose to be president. And then all of a sudden, the whole financial structure just goes to shit because this motherfucker didn't even know how to goddamn... So this is where we're at. I told you guys. They're going to crash the dollar bill. I told you guys this. In 2024, I told everybody this on Facebook. And they all called me and Amanda conspiracy theorists. That's why we were laughing about that today. She started busting out laughing. She said, we weren't crazy. I said, girl, I told you back then we wasn't. I told you we was on point. Any premonition I have is on point. I told them then, I said, they're going to crash the entire financial system. The dollar bill will lose value. They're going to freeze all the credit and debit cards. They're even going to put a freeze on accessing your cryptocurrency. Everything's going to come to a standstill. And then the next thing you know, they're going to create a new digital currency using the RFID chip grid, the UHF grid that they took from television in 2008 when they did the digital revolution. That was the purpose of the digital revolution. Me and my dad talked about it back then in 2008. I said, Dad, they're taking the UHF grid off of TV. He said, you know why they're doing that, right? I said, cause remember, if y'all, look, we that are seasoned, that are 80s babies, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, back in the day, you had the TV where you had to turn the knob to the UHF and you had to switch frequencies. And sometimes the UHF didn't get you a good signal, so you had them fucking rabbit ears. If y'all remember them goddamn rabbit ears, just put rabbit or like RR in the chat. Remember when you had the fucking rabbit ears, and if you was in the hood, you might have had to put some damn foil on the top to get the receiver to pick up a signal? Remember that? When smartphones and cell phones didn't exist, when tablets didn't exist, when social media didn't exist, hell, when internet was brand new, when you had an AOL disk that you had to put in the fucking computer just to get internet, and the dialer, y'all remember that shit? Yeah, that UHF grid, that is the grid that they have taken to use for the RFID chip implant. I'm going to show you all of that on this live. And if I have to do a part 2, I will. Because this is what God said is most important. Of course, I'm going to get back to Pizzagate and the Epstein files and all of that. But right now, what's important is the dead in Christ rising, awakening. Okay? So the U.S. government declaring basically bankruptcy. They're just using the word insolvent. Insolvent, let's just call it what it is. Bankrupt, motherfucker. Like, stop trying to clean it up. You let a motherfucker already in bankruptcy run the fucking country, and you let this stupid hoe create a Doge that didn't even last a year. Then the whole fake fallout between him and Elon Musk. The wealthiest man that wants the entire world to be controlled by AI and robots. And we already seen the shit on fucking iRobot. We already know what the hell y'all goddamn planning. The funny part is you don't know what God has planned, but you about to fuck around and find out. All of y'all that are planning all this diabolical shit thinking you about to kill off the human race and replace us with robots, you got us fucked up. This has been being planned for decades. 1,000 points of light, which I showed you guys yesterday with George Bush Sr. They've been planning this shit way before then. They've been planning this shit since like the early 1900s, really even before then, but definitely since the early 1900s. Conversations, spiritual wickedness in high places among elite, talking about how can we get rid of more people to preserve our natural resources. The great cleansing on the video I'm going to show y'all again tonight. The Illuminati training video that me and Amanda found back in 2012 on YouTube. I'm still shocked that it's even on here. I'm definitely going to screen record it because I have a feeling they're going to take that shit off soon. All of y'all that called us both and myself individually Illuminati conspiracy theorists, look like we were right. Looks like y'all was the dead in Christ and the blind and the sleep. I hope you wake up. I really do. That's the whole point of me doing these lives, is to get y'all to wake the fuck up. So it says the conclusion came from the Treasury Department after it gathered its own consolidated financial statements for fiscal year 2025, and it reads as follows: 6.06 trillion. Notice the 606. There's a message in that number there. 6.06 trillion in total assets against 47.7 trillion in total liabilities. Again, you let that orange face Oompa Loompa run this fucking country and now it's going to shit. How the fuck are we 47, damn near 48 trillion in debt? President grab him by the pussy. Can you answer that question? How the fuck is our country 48 trillion in debt? How the hell we got all these liabilities? Didn't you say you was creating the Dodge program so Elon Musk could get rid of, unnecessary financial spending, and then you cut off SNAP and you cut off all this shit that we needed, and your big beautiful bill fucked over damn near the entire American population outside of your rich pieces of shit buddies who are all alleged pedophiles and rapists? Trump is not the Antichrist. Trump is just a fucking idiot being used to usher in the end times. He's just a dumbass who's irresponsible and disgusting, who likes allegedly teenage girls, who even flirted with his own biological daughter, you nasty piece of shit. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that the financial crash is here that they've been planning. Be thou prepared. 48 trillion price tag fails to include unfunded obligations such as social insurance programs like Social Security and Medicare. Here we go again. How the fuck does that 48 trillion price tag fail to include obligations such as Social Security and Medicare, which were highlighted separately on an off-balance sheet statement of social insurance? Shit we all been paying our whole fucking lives. We don't get a choice in whether or not that shit comes out your goddamn paycheck. Just like we don't get a choice about the goddamn taxes and FICA that comes out. Why the fuck do y'all make it so goddamn hard for people to get fucking disability when you take all of our fucking money to supposedly pay off this debt that ain't being paid? So where the fuck is the money going? President grabbed him by the pussy. Oompa loompa doopity dumbass. Where the fuck is the goddamn money? You definitely got some explaining to do. You definitely got some explaining to do, because this is some bullshit. And you was just sending billions to other countries. How the fuck is the U.S. this much in debt? Stupid motherfucker. I can't stand that orange-faced piece of shit. I swear to God. I cannot. I'm not an 80s baby, but I remember my great-grandparents had one when they... You know what? I keep forgetting your ass is young. Nothing. You stupid. Not great-grandparents. But for real, this is some bullshit. 48 trillion in debt? How, Sway? How? How? This is insanity. So yeah, they doing all the shit they supposed to do. Carrying out the fake ass, the country's in debt, we need money from other countries, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. If you was any type of leader, Oompa Loompa Doopity Dumbass. That's gonna be your new nickname on my channel. The Oompa Loompa Doopity Dumbass. If you was any type of leader, this shit wouldn't be happening right fucking now. And what's even more interesting is Fortune talking about how the media missed it. Of course the media missed it. They don't want this shit to go viral. They don't want this to be mainstream, that the country is in debt, that the country is insolvent, that the country is in bankruptcy. But all of y'all MAGA supporting motherfuckers, all you coon ass bitches, Jaguar Trash K and Nicki Coon House Nigga Minaj, this y'all massa. Yes, sir, this y'all massa right here. Got the whole goddamn country in debt. So basically, he just transferred all of his debt. That's what it's giving. It's giving maybe you took that money to pay off your own debt with your raggedy ass. Old as hell. You're gonna die in debt, Mr. Trump, because I ain't ever gonna call you no damn president, because you a fucking idiot. Yeah, the U.S. government is insolvent. Not a hyperbole. Not at all. It's conclusion drawn directly from the Treasury's Department on consolidated financial statements. Yeah. Once again, for fiscal year 2025, the very same year you kept talking about how y'all was going to raise all this money and you were going to do this and you were going to do that and we're going to give back to the American people and, you know, we're going to give out, you know, checks and we're going to help people. Didn't do shit. Now, one thing about it that I've researched is that the trafficking industry is $1 trillion underground industry. Is that mayhap why the country's in debt? Oompa loompa doopity dumbass. Is that why the fuck the country's insolvent right now? Did you make some promises on sales of flesh, as Jaguar said on the Real Life Street Stars? You know how they be trading flesh on the dark net, according to her, who monitors it. Does this maybe have something to do with the trafficking of children and the satanic rituals that y'all allegedly have been participating in? Is that why the U.S. is in debt? Because I'm going to need you to explain that. All the goddamn taxes and shit y'all be taking, all the goddamn government programs, y'all piece of shit, big beautiful bill cut off, all the federal funding that is gone. Wasn't that the whole point? And you cutting off these different programs was to save the country money. So how the fuck, one more again, how the fuck is the country $48 trillion in debt? You were so worried about the Epstein files. People should be concerned about this. Because the Epstein files and the fuck shit y'all did, God is uncovering that anyway, and those children will be rescued and vindicated. But this is the beginning of the end. This is how they're going to usher in the new one world currency. The country's in debt, so now we have to create alliances with Gog. When Ezekiel 38, scripture says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and Magog. Let's just real quick, let's look at Trump's relationship with Russia, which is Magog. Because Trump's debt has been being paid allegedly by Putin's family for over 45 years. The interesting was that it said Trump's alignment with Russia for global order. President Trump, you know what? These developers of these websites are fucking annoying. The pop-ups are getting annoying. Fuck off. Thank you. President Trump's cozying up to Russian President Vladimir Putin marks a significant departure from decades of U.S. foreign policy. Pause. They've been buddies for like 45 years. He's not cozying up to him. They're family. They've been family for over 4 decades. For years, U.S. policies have been in place to isolate Russia over its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, but the Trump administration is now poised to make a deal with Kremlin to end the war without Ukraine having much of a say. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, wasn't he on the Epstein files too? I could have sworn I seen his name on that list. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up because I could have sworn I seen Marco Rubio on the damn Epstein flight list. And National Security Advisor Mike Waltz held talks with Russian officials last week to begin hammering out a Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Ukrainian officials say that they were not invited. Meanwhile, President Trump is falsely blaming Ukraine, a U.S. ally, for starting the war 3 years ago. Even before these events, Trump was already showing willingness to treat other allies adversarially, including those from NATO, a partnership formed after the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. It says, what Trump's willingness to work with a dictator signals to the rest of the world. U.S. foreign policy has for about 80 years been based on a network of alliances and institutions that allowed the country to project power, to create zones of prosperity, to enjoy trade with like-minded partners. Trump is effectively signaling that he's no longer interested in hearing from European allies. See, this is where it's dangerous because the European Union has already aligned with Japan and Iran. This is why he's not the Antichrist. He's just the fucking dumbass that was chosen to usher this shit in. The Antichrist, believe it or not, is the Luciferian version of Christ, the Jesus, the Freemason version. You know, King James, that wrote the King James Bible. Constantine, the pagan that worshipped and pledged to Lucifer, allegedly. That was a Satanist, not alleged. That created Christianity. Again, all your beliefs have foundations in Freemasonry. I think we need to pay attention to Trump's relationship with Putin, because that's what's going to signal right before that war takes off. Trump, Epstein, Russia triangle. Ooh, let's take a look at that. I don't know why the hell they calling Jeffrey Epstein a deceased pedophile. There's no proof that man even fucking died. But yeah, they're talking about the connection between Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Russia. I already showed you guys that. And then I also showed you Jeffrey's connection to Benjamin Netanyahu. They're all connected because they're all part of the same fucking network. And then Bill Gates catching STDs from young Russian girls. All these nasty motherfuckers are old as shit. That's what they don't realize. Like, a lot of 6-foot naps are about to happen. I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that the country is insolvent with this stupid fucking idiot running it. It's not surprising. It's actually, this is expected. It's completely expected to me. Now, let me show you as well. I keep hearing come and see from Revelations. Okay, this is what I wanted to show y'all about Illumicorp. I can't show the email because of Metal Docs. Because this was a group email that we were sharing April of 2013. Ain't that a bitch? They really took the website down. They really took down the Illumicorp.org website. This shit is wild, bro. This is the link in the email that we were sharing with each other. And they took this shit down. What about Veritex? You gotta be kidding me. What? They took down all these fucking websites. Like, these are all in the emails that we were exchanging with each other. This shit is fucking wild, bro. Yep, because this was the Veritech FAQ. Oh my God. Yeah, they really did not want people to see any details about Veritech, because that is the pharmaceutical corporation that created the RFID chips. Damn. I'm clicking on all these old fucking emails. None of these websites are active. What the fuck? This shit is wild, bro. Okay, I want to open this email and share it in a new tab. That way I can open up the other links. Can we do that? Okay, yes, I can. Oh, but then I don't want to show other people's emails. Okay, let's go down. So I started showing y'all this on the last live. Now, this came from the Obamacare bill and what was it, healthlink.gov. This is dated July 30th, 2012. Let me pull up the calendar, because I know that's on the calendar. Okay. And if this is your first time tuning in, this satanic ritual calendar I found in 2018. as I was researching SRA, which is satanic ritual abuse, and SSRA, which is satanic sexual ritual abuse, because I'm a survivor myself. What was the date again? July 30th. Yep, I knew it. I fucking knew it was either on the calendar or right around. And look at that, grand climax. One day after summer solstice, they do demure rituals, oral, anal, vaginal, that's all rape, human sacrifice. Notice it's specific to female, child, or adult. This is the fuck shit that I honestly believe is the reason this country's in debt, because they're selling these fucking kids to people and shit. And wait, this is the wrong, hold up, let me get out of that one. That's the wrong one, because I wasn't trying to show nobody else's information. This is ridiculous. The way that these dates keep lining up with this calendar is nuts. Let me take my sleep aid right quick. I remember when this was going viral in the news about mandated microchips. And like they're saying, it's been openly discussed in legislation for decades by both the Republicans and Democrats. Now they're saying beginning in 1974. Based on my research, they were actually discussing this in the 50s. A microchip implant is in the Obama healthcare bill. I'm about to show y'all that. Hold up. That's why I had to come out of that email, because I'm going to have to be toggling back and forth. I found the information with the human-sized cadavers, and I'm about to show you the videos too. Give me 1 second. Wait, no, it's not that one. Go to the next one. That's the same. Go up. Here it is. Is this the one with the pictures? Yes. Fuck. I found it. I'm so happy I found it. Okay, hold on. Oh, share tab. Okay. So you guys remember when I showed you HR 6566? I discovered this when I was researching, when Amanda and I were watching all the videos that they have taken off of YouTube as well, just like the websites. HR 6566, Mass Fatality Planning and Religious Considerations Act. September 28th, 2012. September 28th. A week after the fall equinox feast day, another sexual ritual, oral, anal, vaginal, orgies, any age. Dates always line up. So this is a bill to amend the Homeland Security Act of 2002 to require the administrator of FEMA to provide guidance and coordination for mass fatality planning and for other purposes. So basically, emergency preparedness often plans for how to prepare and provide for survivors of a natural disaster, act of terrorism, and again, or another man-made disaster. And then it goes on to say different religions have different customs surrounding death. So they're claiming that's why they created this mass fatality planning and religious act. And again, I just happened to stumble across this because I actually did read the Obamacare bill when I was like, again, heavily researching all of this stuff. So as I'm researching, I'm so glad I thought to copy and paste the shit from the websites, because these websites are not active anymore. Like, watch, if I click on this, I'll be shocked if this website's still active. Yep, it's not. I knew it. It's like every website that exposed what's really going on, they've just scrubbed the internet of it. So this is dated October 8th, 2012. But basically this, gives the details about what's in the HR 6566. So as I'm reading through this, notice where it says multifunctional cremation container. Does this open or is this gone too? Get the fuck out of here. I click on the link and nothing's opening. What do you mean the document's private? It's from a fucking website. This is how you know how far these motherfuckers will go to cover this shit up. So yeah, these containers being part of a plan wherein a mass fatality would occur, the deceased could be easily transported in these coffins on FEMA trains to FEMA camps, where incinerators are reported to have been installed. Incinerators. Moloch, the god of child sacrifice. Incinerable cadavers, which means that they have every plan to burn the bodies of the dead. Animal and or human sacrifice. In 2012. In the Obamacare bill. I still don't know how I stumbled across this, but I did. I was like, yo, and I remember posting this on my old Facebook page. It's also interesting that I've been locked out of my old Facebook account after I started talking about this shit since last February. After I started exposing this on YouTube. Can't get back in. Because the two-factor app just suddenly deleted my Facebook account info, so can't nobody log into my shit. I was talking about this on Facebook for over a decade. I kept showing them this. Oh, D, you're a conspiracy theorist. I said, bruh, incinerable cadavers? Cremation containers? Y'all just gonna burn all the evidence of all the dead bodies? Brick oven, bop, 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 Kevin Hart. Talking about pizza and brick ovens and bop. Incinerable cadavers. Okay. Coffins on FEMA trains to FEMA camps where incinerators are reported to have been installed. Situated close to the FEMA regional headquarters in Atlanta, let's take note of that location, are an estimated 500,000 FEMA coffins stacked across a large acreage of land. Locals have reported that the CDC, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, own these coffins in Atlanta. The WHO, the CDC, and FEMA and the DHS are preparing for mass casualties due to a deployment of an engineered, please pay attention to the word engineered, bioweapon that would claim so many American lives that there would be an overwhelming need for forced vaccinations. Overseen by the U.S. Department of Defense under the Transformational Medical Technologies Program. Amanda, we were so on point in 2013. Now, I'm not going to read through all the rest of this, but I wanted y'all to get the most important parts. These are the cadavers, and I found the videos. I found this actual video. I'm going to show you the videos. They didn't scrub all of them. This outline of a man inside of a cadaver is inside of that same HR 6566, and I'm going to show y'all that. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah. Why the fuck do they need this shit in a mass preparedness? Now, when I was telling y'all about them dividing the U.S. up into 10 different regions in the event of domestic terrorists or an invasion, let's take a look. Okay, what the fuck? I gotta stop using touchscreen because I'm like, what the hell? I'm just trying to zoom in. Okay, let's zoom in on the regions. Oh my God, can you stop, please? This is really annoying. Like, I'm just trying to move this up. Oh my God, the irritation of this. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. The interesting thing is that Atlanta has number 4. So you see how they're planning to divide the United States. And it's actually not even 10, it's 11 different regions. So the FEMA camps, just so y'all know, these are the regions. So if you live in these states, you're gonna be in the FEMA camps that are within these divided regions. And you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to get out of them. That's gonna be the home until they fix this bullshit. Notice how this is also in connection to them preparing for mass fatalities on U.S. soil. Authorizing the detention of U.S. citizens on U.S. soil, now deemed it prudent to prepare for mass fatalities on U.S. soil. FEMA takes control of the U.S. government once continuity of government plan kicks in, aka in addition to martial law. They do not answer to the U.S. government and arrogantly divided the U.S. up in advance. This person said their guess is they nuke a city, take over the U.S., and blame China and Russia to push us into World War III. That's exactly what's going to happen. That is verbatim what's going to happen. That's what I saw in my premonition and Amanda. U.S. and China take over the U.S. They start kicking in all of our fucking doors. I saw them. They were dragging us out of our homes, just like we've been seeing ICE do. Except for now, it's all of us. It's not just illegal immigrants. It's everybody that does not want to take that fucking chip mark of the goddamn beast. This is the shit they're planning on doing. And I saw this, and Amanda saw this in 2013. That's why we're going to have that panel discussion for her to tell you what she saw. And everybody on Facebook called us crazy, on my page, on hers, and collectively. That's why I started my Truth Theory group. All of these photos are from my Truth Theory group on my old Facebook page. I'm so glad I saved this shit. Because as y'all can see, they done took all the damn websites down. They don't want people to know this. This is the reason the devil's been using so many people to try to come against me and my channel. Because not a lot of people have done the research that I've done. I've been researching this shit for over 30 years. I've been trying to get people to wake up like, yo, stop calling this shit conspiracy theory. This is from, look at this shit. This is what I found in the HR 6566 clause of the Obamacare bill. United States patent. Notice the date of the patent, June 20th, 1995. I told y'all they've been planning this shit. This ain't nothing new. They've been planning this. It just became discoverable when you have an extremely analytical scorpion brain like me that digs and digs and digs until I get the answers. Because you're not finna tell me no bullshit and then I research and find otherwise. Multifunctional cremation container for a cadaver, aka a dead human body. That's what they call them in mortuaries, cadavers. Date of patent June 20th. Let's see if that's on the calendar. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, y'all big mad. Y'all big mad because you couldn't stop me and you ain't going to. Yep, right before feast day, summer solstice. Notice how all the dates are all around solstice and feast days and orgies. SSRA, satanic sexual ritualistic abuse. I keep telling y'all the Epstein shit, the Diddy shit, the Jay-Z shit, the Clive Davis shit, the Holly Weird shit. This is what it's about. Satanic rituals. Animal and or human sacrifice. This the shit they on. And this is the shit they don't want you to know. But I'm gonna show you anyhow. Because I don't care about none of these people thinking they finna intimidate or stop what God told me to do. No, you're not. These are coffins. Incinerable coffins. It's definitely given worse than the Holocaust. Because it's just everybody. Domestic terrorists, people that don't want to take the mark, that don't want to take the chip implant. This is what they're planning eventually, allegedly. Why the fuck is this in the Obamacare bill? Why? Yeah, this was the group we was trying to get started. When I'm telling you this shit is so fucking real, it's insane. It's insane. Incinerable cadavers. It is insane. Let me see. Oh, here's the other one. Okay, can I make this big? Can I open this possibly? Watch this website not open this shit. I'll be shocked if it's still active. Oh, get out of here. It is. Shocker. Whoever made this, though, you're not a very good editor there. Yeah, mass fatality planning. What's the date on this? It's got an RSS feed. This is extremely antiquated. Wow. Yep, they're talking about on here the HR 6566 Mass Fatality Planning and Religious Considerations Act. They always center it around religion, bro. That's why I'm gonna show that video again tonight. I'm gonna show y'all a couple more articles and I'm gonna start the videos. Oh wait, is this the YouTube video here? Oh, word? Oh, that's what's up. Okay, I did find one of them. Let me switch my banner. I'm gonna get to y'all's comments, but I want to stay focused on this. Come on. I'm trying to get to the date. October 8th, 2012 is when this video was published. And all video content that we're reviewing is for the purpose of fair use, specifically to educate about the subject I'm speaking on tonight. Let me close some of these tabs. Okay, let's take a listen.
Hey, welcome back everyone. I am Matt Larson, and does the Congress know something that the American people don't? There's a new bill, H.R. 6566, titled Mass Fatality Planning and Religious Considerations Act. Basically, this bill is to amend the Homeland Security Act of 2002 to require the administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, to provide guidance and coordination for mass fatality planning and for other purposes. Don't you think that Congress has a lot better things to be doing than to be planning on how to, I guess, take care of a mass fatality? It's one of those things where, you know, I guess we could be trying to pass budgets or pass bills like that, make it so you have to have balanced budgets, or they defend our rights, all of them, not just some of them, you know, kind of things like that. Maybe if they want to go to war, maybe they can declare war. I'm not saying we need to go to war, but maybe the Congress should be doing other things. Now, for the people out there, I've had this link sent to me now a few times, and this bill was actually introduced September 28th from Representative Laura Richardson. She's Democrat from California. And people are going to come out and they're going to call you a conspiracy theorist.
You know what? Laura Richardson, let's see if she was in LA. Because allegedly that's where they're doing a lot of these satanic rituals. Okay, Laura Richardson, California District. Do we have any additional details on that location? Okay, let's do a little bit of research, a little bit. Damn it, I wanted you to scroll up. There we go. What is Wiki? I knew it was LA. Okay, I knew it was LA. I just wanted to confirm, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure it all makes sense why the fuck where they are allegedly doing some of the most, like LA and New Mexico, and even they said Austin. Those are the locations where a lot of alleged satanic sacrifices go on. So to me, it's not really a coincidence that the person who's from that area is the one that introduced the Mass Fatality Planning and Religious Considerations Act. I mean, just like, wow, okay.
FEMA camps aren't real? No.
They're very real.
FEMA camps are real.
Very.
And we do have to worry about them down the road. I mean, you've seen the videos of the coffins stacked up.
Yep.
Just for
I'm about to show y'all the
hundreds of
videos.
yards. Just hundreds of thousands of plastic coffins that were purchased for FEMA. What for? They're not saying.
Of course
They're not
not.
actually going to tell you that those are disposable, just ready to go coffins. I mean, look at the dimensions, look at what they're purchased for. They're coffins. And this bill right here, H.R. 6566, is a prime example of what those coffins would be put to use for. Now, am I saying that the government is going to go out and kill the people? No. But does the government know of some type of virus? Maybe a new swine flu?
Man-made disaster. Man-made biochemical weapons. I mean, hell, it said man-made disaster in the HR 6566. Notice the word planning. Okay? Planning. Yeah. Emergency preparedness often plans for how to prepare and provide for survivors of a natural disaster, act of terrorism, or other man-made disaster. Pay attention to that.
Flu or any of these other just manufactured viruses that actually happen from GMOs and from other different types of vaccines and cross contaminations of different type of just viruses, we don't know. I don't know. Does the government think that we're going to rise up and fight against the government and rebel? Because when we get nobody to choose from between Obama and Romney, people are just going to lose it? I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this. So if you guys think you have an idea, leave that answer in a text or video response down below. I'm going to put the link to this bill down in the description. Check it out. It's only in the early stages still, and it still says it has a very low chance of passing, but
well, it passed. It definitely passed. For sure. Now, I'm really glad this website is still up, because before its news, I used to always check like almost daily, especially back in 2012 and 2011, to see what was going on and what changes they weren't discussing in mainstream media. So I'm actually extremely glad that this is still here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna post the link to this link, the link to this article in the chat. So it's there. So here it is again, before it's news, where they're talking about it. The mass fatality planning. And in capital letters, preparedness for mass fatalities resulting from a natural, they just gotta have a gigantic prostate on, like, oh, I hate these kind of websites. That was such a distraction I didn't need. For mass fatalities resulting from a natural disaster, act of terrorism, and again, or other man-made disaster. This shit is crazy. Okay, you know, all the prostate shit is quite annoying. Let me pull up the other video. Okay, pause. Let me close that one out so it's not buffering. Now, this one, no, I don't. I'm just trying to scroll down too. There we go. This one was published October 5th, 2013. So yeah. What's the source for this? Is that all the information? Oh wow, okay, I guess that is. They don't really have much info in the description, but okay, let me let it go ahead and play.
The city's homeless problem, however, is worse now than ever, according to a new report which says that nearly 115,000 people went homeless last year, including nearly 40,000 children.
40,000 children? 40,000? Nobody was alarmed when they heard that. That's just crazy.
Coalition for the Homeless Workers lay the blame squarely at the feet of Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
He replaced the federal programs with a series of time-limited subsidies that give you only 1 or 2 years of housing assistance and then cut you off, even if the family is too poor to afford the apartment rent. And so as a result of that, lots of families are ending up making a return trip through the city shelter system. It's indisputable that we've more homeless people now.
That the shelters are overpacked because people are losing their jobs. They're going from their apartments to homes to the city shelters. People that don't take the services, they don't know about them.
Among the many predictions about this recession, one has consistently proven to be true. Forecasters have said unemployment will continue to rise, and it has. Today, the government reported another 467,000 jobs lost in June, taking unemployment to 9.5%, and that's the highest level in more than a quarter century. The rising unemployment raises questions about the economic stimulus, which was supposed to create jobs.
Since the recession began, 6.5 million Americans have lost their jobs, and the unemployment rate has nearly doubled.
An unusual turn of events involving a Vero Beach homeless man who was attacked on camera.
It's the disturbing video gone viral. A homeless man in Vero Beach, sucker punched by a man, filmed by another man, then posted to Facebook. Advocates for the homeless say this is actually more common than you think, that slapping the homeless for money is sort of a game.
They recently just passed a law. They made it a law. It is criminal in the city of Columbia, South Carolina, to be homeless. And they are actually arresting the homeless and shipping them to encampment centers. I mean, this is...
Arresting the homeless and shipping them to FEMA camps, just like how the ICE agents are putting deportees in alligator Alcatraz. Again, this is some shit that they've been doing for decades. This is my opinion. I feel like them doing all of this shit really are like fire drills, like test runs for when they implement martial law, to see exactly how they're going to carry it out without, you know, all types of hysteria and people freaking out and all of that. But to arrest a person for being homeless is just the dumbest shit ever. It really is.
Made it in an article on the Huffington Post. And
amazing. Give us the headline, because that's big. If they're making them go there, that's the beginning of the camps, and is what the Emergency Centers Establishment Act says they would condition people. Because at first it'll just be poor people, and then it'll be everybody. Going on is working poor, where families are living 10 to a house, and now June 21's trying to ban that.
For the past 8 years, Dan Duvall has run a sober living center for about 30 homeless people on his 72-acre ranch. In California, a 66-year-old man was jailed Monday after being accused of illegally housing homeless people on his ranch in San Luis Obispo.
Would you like to see all the executive orders that have been put into place to take over our nation? Have complete control?
You know what's wild? I am not bullshitting. I have not watched this particular video until now, because I actually found this video today. And it's creepy that this fucking video has that same picture that oh my God. Oh, I know Amanda's asleep, but I wish she was up. This is fucking wild. They got the same fucking picture that me and her found in 2013. Because this isn't a link from a video that me and her watched before. Like I said, this one popped up as I was researching earlier today. This is crazy.
Over us, to take away our rights, round us up, and put us where they want us. Here we go. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of all highways and seaports.
Pause. That's what Trump is already doing in certain states. That's why he kept, what did they say, launching, not just ICE agents, but he had like actual soldiers and all of them in different states, and curfews and all of that. It's all just a test run for martial law.
Executive Order 10995
control the communication
media.
media.
Control the communication media.
It's crazy.
Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to seize all means of transportation, including personal cars, trucks, or vehicles.
Notice it said seize, meaning they can take everything from us that could allow us to escape. The crash of the dollar bill, the U.S. being in bankruptcy, is just the very beginning. And this is wild that this came out 13 years ago.
I guarantee you nobody knows about these executive orders because they want everyone to be distracted by all the things that they put out in mainstream media and on social media, so that nobody will pay attention, so that they can be prepared to escape this.
Of any kind, and total control over highways, seaports, and waterways. Executive Order 10999 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms.
Pause. Bill Gates purchased up all of the agriculture, and he also purchased damn near all of the water reservoirs already. Again, I was talking about that on Facebook way before I had a YouTube channel. I was showing them that, and then we would talk about it in our Truth Theory group. I was like, yo, did y'all see that Bill Gates just purchased the last of the water reservoirs? Like, he owns water reservoirs in all 50 states, and he even has ownership in the oil pipeline. Like, these people have done these things in secret because they know exactly what they are planning. And they're going to leave the citizens, the civilians as they call us, they're going to leave a lot of us, I guess you can say behind, because they're going to create this new world order, this new system. And like they said, anybody who is not on the grid is going to be cut off from the grid and from society.
Order 11000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. Executive Order 11005 allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions and economic or financial crisis.
Pause. That's exactly where we're at right now. With the U.S. declaring bankruptcy, that's literally where we're at right now. Notice how the next thing is, it grants authority to the Doge to enforce the plan set out in executive orders to institute industrial support. And how the Doge has been hit or miss with the Epstein files and all this other bullshit.
Executive Order 11310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in executive orders, to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislative liaison to control all aliens, to operate penal and correctional institutions, and to advise and assist the President. Executive Order 11049 assigns emergency preparedness function to federal departments.
That is exactly what this shit is. See, again, when everybody's paying attention to all the distractions, I've always been the one paying attention to what they're not putting out in the mainstream media. Because I remember I've dated a couple of guys that were in the military. They always told me that. They said never pay attention to CNN or any of the mainstream news outlets because they are paid to put out bullshit to keep y'all distracted. He said pay attention to military news networks on YouTube. He said any military channel on YouTube has the truth about what's really going on. And they're never going to put it out in mainstream media. We never heard any of this shit on NBC, ABC, CNN, C-SPAN, because yes, I even watch C-SPAN. We never heard none of this shit on them networks because they don't want people to know any of this. You have to dig and look and really know for yourself what's going on and not just follow the bullshit of what they're showing you.
And agencies, consolidating 21 operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period. Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, and the flow of money in U.S. financial institution in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months.
Pause. When a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months. And FEMA will have the power in every aspect of the nation. This is why this shit is so damn creepy, what they're doing. Because this is what the plan has been. It's so frustrating because I remember telling people this over and over on Facebook. It's not a conspiracy, y'all. It's not a conspiracy. You got to wake up, research, really look into what this shit is about. And now here we are in real time, with things happening in real time that are leading to this.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Oh wait, they just said show the connection between FEMA and ICE. Okay. I typed in FEMA and ICE connection. ICE is draining funds from FEMA. See, this is why they told me to show this right quick. Trump administration shifts FEMA staff to ICE. Are you serious? During hurricane season? Really? I fucking knew the FEMA people were the ICE people because that's what I saw in that premonition. The people that were pulling us out of our homes were not local police officers. They were from FEMA. The Department of Homeland Security, the parent of both FEMA and ICE, sent notices to affected employees redirecting them to accept the transfer to ICE or potentially face termination. Are you kidding me? What's the date on this? August 6th. This was just last year. The Trump administration is transferring FEMA staffers to help speed the hiring of thousands of immigration enforcement agents, according to staff notices seen by Reuters. This is the shit they're going to do to those of us that don't take the mark eventually. The DHS transferred more than 100 people to ICE from its Human Resources Department and security team, citing current and former officials familiar with the reassignments. The timing of the transfers could leave FEMA understaffed at a critical moment, former FEMA officials warned, potentially hampering disaster response during the height of hurricane season. DHS is adopting an all-hands-on-deck strategy to recruit 10,000 new ICE agents. Wow. Mass hiring. Trump aims to deport record numbers of immigrants in the U.S. illegally. A spending package passed by the Republican-led Congress in July provides a massive funding increase for ICE? Are you kidding me? Oompa loompa doopity dumbass. See, that's why the fuck the goddamn country's going in debt. You funding all this money from FEMA to goddamn ICE to rip apart families because you want some bullshit. Boy, I am telling you, every time my ancestors give me a message, there's a reason for it. Because they said, show them real quick the connection between FEMA and ICE. This is some bullshit. Wow. Wow. Notice how it says the Trump administration has floated the idea of shrinking or shutting down FEMA entirely so that they can take control. FEMA employees who have received transfer orders were told they need to accept or decline the reassignment within 7 days. Damn, y'all only gave motherfuckers a week to make a decision? According to notices seen by Reuters, if they declined or failed to report for duty, they could be fired. Wow. Wow. That's some bullshit, bruh. That is some bullshit. Wow.
Has broad powers in every aspect of the nation. General Frank Salzito, chief of FEMA's Civil Security Division, stated in a 1983 conference that he saw FEMA's role as a new frontier in the protection of individual and governmental leaders from assassination and of civil and military installations, from sabotage and or attack, as well as prevention of dissident groups from gaining access to U.S. opinion or a global audience in times of crisis. FEMA's powers were consolidated by President Carter to incorporate the National Security Act of 1947 that allows for strategic relocation of industries, services, government, and other essential economic activities, and to rationalize the requirements for manpower, resources, and production facilities. The 1950 Defense Production Act gives the President sweeping powers over all aspects of the economy. The Act of August 29, 1916 authorizes the security of the Army in time of war to take possession of any transportation system from transporting troops, material, or any other purpose related to the emergency. The International Emergency Economic Powers Act enables the President to seize the property of a foreign country or national. These powers were transferred to FEMA in a sweeping consolidation in 1979. There you have it. Everything is set into place. They've begun throwing the poor, the homeless, into the prison camps, the FEMA camps. Now they have left to do is take the guns.
And that's verbatim what they have been doing. Like I said, there's a reason. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, that is incredibly annoying as an intro music for a channel. It's crazy because, again, everything that I seen and that Amanda seen, that saw 13 years ago is manifesting. This shit is crazy. I don't know why the fuck they would choose that noise for their intro, but whoever the hell edited this video, you're a horrible fucking editor. That's the most annoying sound in the world.
Coffins, which you paid for with your tax money. There are millions of them waiting for you in different states across the...
This looks like an extremely old attempt on AI type video. When was this? Oh, damn it. It is from 2008. Wow. I'm gonna still play it, but I don't like the extremely fake sounding AI voice. It's like y'all could have did better than that, but I guess maybe they couldn't. It was 2008. So these videos are the ones that we had found in 2013, and all the links that I was clicking on last night during the live, none of the links would work to pull up the videos because all of those videos got scrubbed off YouTube. When you click on the link, it just says video unavailable. So today I literally just typed in FEMA Coffins and then all of the other old, because like all these videos were going viral on YouTube at the same time in 2013. It was like hundreds of FEMA, because when people found out about the HR 6566, a lot of people were doing content about the videos and the incinerable cadavers. So these are the real life version of what I just shown you guys, what I had saved to my email of the cadavers that were in the HR 6566 Mass Fatality Religious Act.
The country. Each coffin can hold 3 or 4 people, and most of you will be crammed into one right after martial law is declared in America.
Hold on, let me look at the comments because there's a lot I missed. I'm gonna go from the bottom up. The only golden image there had been is for him and his billion. Exactly. His Trump Gaza gold shit. For real, that intro was like, I didn't like it. It was disturbing. Like, y'all could have picked a different sound for that bullshit. Let's see. I think it would be obvious if they do that though. Without proper training, the training they were getting before. Oh, I must have missed a bunch of comments. Okay, I'll come back because there's a lot of comments and I want to stay focused on the video.
President George Bush is an important member of the Illuminati. The master plan of this satanic group of puppets is a new world order. Their goal is to kill 90% of the world's population so they can better control the rest of us, and they will start in America. They have already built many.
Notice how they said they will start in America. Everybody will have to chip in, and those that don't will be deemed a domestic terrorist. I've got to find that video when Obama said that. In fact, I'm going to look on my phone while I play this.
Industrial ovens inside the FEMA death camps. These ovens will be used to get rid of the dead bodies. However,
notice how they said they have industrial ovens inside of the FEMA camps, and they will be used to get rid of the bodies. Which I just showed y'all in that other article. And again, this whole thing looking a lot like a gigantic oven, like what we see on the statue of Moloch.
However, even burning these ovens day and night, they will not be faster than the gas killing hundreds to thousands of people at a time. So the plastic coffins will be used to store the rotting bodies. If you are wondering why all this is going to happen to America, the answer is because you have rejected God and mocked his law. Your nation proclaims faith that it does not follow. You will reap what you have sown. I have very important information that is crucial for you Americans to know. On March 17th, the House of Representatives held a special closed session. This was only the fourth time in 176 years that Congress has closed its doors to the public. Not only did members discuss new surveillance provisions, as was the publicly stated reason for the closed-door session, they also discussed 1. The imminent collapse of the U.S. economy to occur by September 2008. 2. The imminent collapse.
Pause. I remember that because that's why the cash for gold craze was so prevalent. I wonder if I can find that information. Because everywhere you looked, whether it was TV, the internet, the radio, it was cash for gold, cash for gold. Yeah. Give us your gold. Now, when people were asking on the previous live, okay, what do we do when they implement the mark? Well, you can actually buy with gold. They have digital gold bars and they have physical gold bars that you can purchase, and you will be able to use that in a bartering system. They will accept gold. And those are going to be like, you know, the underground type places that are helping out people that don't want to take the mark. So that's why I keep trying to tell people, like, everybody talking about buying mansions and cars. You better get some invest in some fucking gold, invest in whatever digital currency you feel comfortable with. But get your money out of banks and expect for your credit and debit cards to be frozen, because that's coming after. Like, since they're doing the bankruptcy crash now, that's what's going to come next. According to what I saw in my premonitions and according to my research.
Collapse of U.S. federal government finances by February 2009. 3. The possibility of civil war inside the USA as a result of the collapse. 4.
Notice how he said the possibility of a war inside of the United States due to the financial collapse, which is happening as we speak. This is why Ezekiel 38:7 says, be thou prepared. Not be scared, just get prepared for it.
advance roundups of insurgent U.S. citizens likely to move against.
Notice how they said, let me run it back. They're going to round up insurgent U.S. citizens. It's not about race. It's not about any of that. It's, are you going to be on the grid with the mark or are you not? And if you're not, well, you're going to get rounded up eventually.
As a result of the collapse. 4. Advance roundups of insurgent U.S. citizens likely to move against the government. 5. The detention of those rounded up at Rex 84 FEMA camps constructed throughout the USA. 6. The possibility of retaliation against members of Congress for the collapses. 7. The location of safe facilities for members of Congress and their families to reside during expected massive civil unrest. 8. The necessary and unavoidable merger of the United States with Canada for its natural resources and with Mexico for its cheap labor pool. 9. The issuance of a new currency, the Amero, for all three nations as
the issuance of a new currency. Global currency, pros, cons, and current feasibility. The idea of a world currency is certainly not a new one. In 1969, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, created the special drawing rights as a supplementary global reserve asset. The SDR's value is based on a basket of 5 currencies: the US dollar, which they're crashing now, the Japanese yen, the euro, the British pound sterling, and the Chinese renminbi. I think that's how you say that. While the SDR is not currently in the classic scene, it does serve the purpose of supplementing member countries' official currency reserve and providing liquidity during times of economic distress. You know, I just keep saying that they've been planning this shit for decades. Eliminating conversion costs. A global currency would mean all transaction costs related to international finance would be eliminated as well. Exchanging currencies always requires a conversion, which banks charge as a fee, and there can be a loss in value in changing one currency to another. Having one global currency would eliminate all of this. Individuals traveling abroad would benefit as well as businesses conducting operations in other countries. This is exactly how they're going to present it too. This is exactly how they're going to present it.
The proposed solution to the coming economic crisis. In the span of less than 4 months, gasoline prices will rise 500%. This has already begun. The prices of both food and shelter rise over 300%. Unemployment levels will reach over 40%. The savings of millions will evaporate overnight due to currency devaluation and bank failures. Unrest will begin in
currency devaluation and bank failures. Well, I would say $48 trillion deficit under the direction of the Oompa Loompa Doopity dumbass would qualify as such. Have to ask yourself, why isn't the country being bankrupt in excess of $47 trillion? Why isn't that going viral on mainstream media? Because they want you to be distracted. I'm not saying that the Epstein files is a distraction, because it's not. But they want people to solely focus on that so that people are not focused on what they're planning behind closed doors. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly for the sake of YouTube. Okay, I'm going to move on from that video.
It's just the fact that we're reporting on that. So
Why
let me clear
would I
that.
be putting pause, y'all don't pause? Because I can feel my sleep aid about to kick in. Like I said, I'm definitely going to do a part 2. So this was published in 2009. Interestingly enough, on February 9th. This is from Alex Jones's. Is this his channel? No, somebody just posted it. Okay. It says Alex Jones Show, FEMA Concentration Camps Coffins, Part 1.
The company isn't bad. They're allowed to be in business and sell this to the government. In the past, we would see articles about, it's just the fact that we're reporting on that. So I want to be clear, the company isn't bad. They're allowed to be in business and sell this to the government. In the past, we would see articles about 1 million body bags ordered by FEMA, or 300,000 plastic coffins ordered by Homeland Security. I mean, we've had all those articles. We just have never, but people don't care about an article or a news story. They want to see the coffins. So some folks in Georgia saw one of these facilities, and we've got Google photos of it and ground photos and video of it, and it is more than 500,000 of these giant coffins stacked outside. You'll have big stacks of lids and then stacks of the coffins, one inside the other. And they also have other systems that you can go read about. They also have urns for your cremated body. And this is in Georgia. The company is Polyguard Vaults, but they're in Alabama.
Polyguard Vaults. Burial products. Okay. Oh, and there they are. Oh, they call it the Hercules. Interesting. A burial vault. I wonder why they name it vault. Are they burying people with, this is an actual plastic fucking coffin. It's pretty creepy. Oh, a grave liner. Okay. So, yeah, this isn't looking too good for the American people.
This is a separate area, a FEMA leased area, just sitting right out by the side of a highway for the last couple of years. And finally, we've mentioned this before, but finally, this is really getting big news on the web, and a big report's being done by Kurt Nimmo right now. In fact, it may be up. I know he's working on it to have it up by the end of the show. Why are tens of thousands of plastic burial vaults stacked in a field near Madison, Georgia, is the headline. Polyguard Vaults, and you go to their website, and we also have photos of the trucks, giant 18-wheelers, huge 18-wheelers with these extra long flatbeds, just totally stacked with the coffins that go one inside the other like plastic Dixie cups, and they're just all there. Now, we know this is FEMA. We know that these are coffins. Some people are debating that because we have all the news articles where it says FEMA's ordered coffins and body bags by the millions. This is just one stockpile just a few miles away from the Atlanta airport, which is the largest airport in the United States. So you can go there and look at these. Now, FEMA and the CDC say that they're, by the way, this is nearby the CDC, Center for Disease Control. They say that they're only doing this in case there's a mass biological outbreak. You've just got to remember that it's the government, the criminals that have hijacked our government, their National Security Act of 47, who fully took over when they killed President Kennedy in '63, and now under PDD 51 openly says that the White House is a dictatorship and that Congress has no authority. The chairman of the Homeland Security Department for 6-7 months, it's been going on for 11 months total since one of the people on the committee asked to see the documents. They're not even allowed to see the fully declassified /classified version. But on the cover sheet of PED 51, Presidential Decision Directive 51, it says that the president is a dictator. People say, well, everything will be all right. Barack Obama will soon be in, or John McCain will. They're just puppets. They run nothing. They're there to carry out their orders. Understand? It's that executive branch that allows the private corporation.
Remember when he's talking about the executive branch, let me show you right quick. A lot of people say that Alex Jones is a plant and he's a part of it. I'm pretty sure that's true. But it doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of the stuff he exposes is true. I remember when he used to have that show, I used to watch it all the time. Yeah, at the top of the pyramid. The council, the Crown Council of 13. Can I make this bigger? And then notice what it says at the top, World Monarch. That's why I keep saying the people that are on these pyramids and all of that, especially the ones that are at the bottom, they have no idea how much corruption goes on at the top.
That have hijacked our government to have at least on the surface the look.
And he talked about private corporations that have hijacked our government. And keep in mind, on this pyramid, corporations are above governments. It says, matter of fact, government is at the bottom in the middle. Military, police, courts, prison. Above that is government. Above that is corporations. Above corporations, it's central banks, tax revenue, interest revenue. This is what runs the world. Not these presidents that are put in position to carry out, you know, their duties essentially.
Of government.
What's also interesting is how they made this picture in front of Molech at the Bohemian Grove, and they've got the one guy here with the satanic hooded cloak. Then you see the demon back here, and you see the Baphomet statue. Like, yes, definitely depicted well.
But a president declaring himself dictator is totally illegal and illegitimate. See, that's what you got to ask yourself. Do you stand with the Bill of Rights and Constitution or with the New World Order? Do you stand with the Republic and the Founding Fathers or the dirtbag globalists? We'll be right back with the...
Okay, yeah, Alex Jones was doing a lot back then. And sometimes still does. So here's the video. This is the one.
Not too long ago, I talked with Dale Bohannon, whom I've known since, I guess, the mid-1980s.
Hold on, I want to see the date on this one. I don't know who edited that, but all of that unnecessary filter is annoying. Okay. Oh, so this is a really old video, but they posted it in 2025. I'm going to go to my email and find that original one. Hold on. Okay. Okay, go down. Pause. God, that's annoying. I don't like how YouTube just starts automatically playing the video. So this was published in 2011. Okay, so yeah, this is the original video. I don't want to watch that terribly edited one. January 19th, I do believe is on the Satanic Ritual calendar too. Let me double check, because I thought it was. Yeah, because that's right before the Bohemian Grove starts. Yep. Right in between Satanic Revels, another sexual ritual where they do oral, anal, vaginal rape, and the victims are 7 to 17 female. And then right before they, and this again, this is all, and actually Bohemian Grove's in July 20th. But abduction, ceremonial preparation and holding of sacrificial victim for Candlemas, sexual and blood ritual, oral, anal, vaginal, human sacrifice, female
or child any age. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what he has to say.
Not too long ago, I talked with Dale Bohannon, whom I've known since, I guess, the mid-1980s. And he told me something very interesting that he found back in the fall of 2000 while he was on a business trip. Listen to this, folks.
I was pulled to the side road, which was a new cut gravel dirt road in front of a business, a builder supply business, actually top-notch builder supply in Madison, Georgia. To my right, this was previously was a soybean field, and this little new cut road divided this field, and the right side of the road was filled with which I thought was portable toilets. I never looked at them that close. Same in color, maybe black, but which was an odd color. And I was sitting there going over my notes, and a van pulled alongside of me that turned out to be the property owner. And he greeted me, and he was by himself, and so we had a good little dialogue there, and I asked him about the field of black boxes. What were they? Because I'd never seen anything like that, and his statement was that if he told me, I would be one of few people in Madison, Georgia that knew about them. And he says they're disposable coffins, I believe he told me. And he says there's 100, at that time, he said there was 125,000 there. And they were stacked, he told me 15 high. I asked him who owned them, and he stated that the CDC owned them and that they were leasing his land for storage. And he...
Imagine how many more of these they have now that no one's aware of. If they had over 500K, which the other video said, and this was in 2011, can you imagine how much more, many more, and how much more properties the CDC and all of them are leasing that have all these fucking plastic coffins on them? Then you have to wonder, who's gonna be burning all of these dead people that are in these incinerable cadavers? Like, I would think probably people who are like ICE agents. Probably the people that me and Amanda both had premonitions of banging down our doors and pulling us out of our homes. Because it freaked everybody out. To be honest, even back then, I didn't really watch YouTube that much. Because, you know, they still had like all of the cable networks and stuff. But when this started going viral on YouTube everywhere, I remember I reached out to Amanda. I said, did you see all this shit on, you know, Facebook? Because back then I was always on Facebook. I was like, did you see all of this? Like, what are they planning? Why in the fuck are there empty lots like this full of plastic coffins ordered by FEMA? Shit is crazy.
Said his brother worked with the CDC in Atlanta and had been asked by the CDC to do a 3-year extension to place temporary morgues all across the nation.
So in January of this year, 2005, we decided to drive to beautiful Madison, Georgia and take a look for ourselves. It was on a Sunday and no one was around, with the exception of this one pickup truck that was coming out the narrow road that we were going in on next to this field. We flagged down the pickup truck, and it was providential that the driver of this pickup truck turned out to be the son of the man that owned this field. So naturally, we started asking him questions. And he told us that not long ago, there had been as many as 500,000 of these grave liners or disposable coffins. We asked him for permission if we could look around, and he said yes. So we did.
We're just getting an idea for the size of these boxes. What could these boxes be used for? Well, they're called casket liners. And that's an interesting term, isn't it? It's a casket liner. When I first heard the term casket liner, I thought perhaps a lining for a casket. But this is too big to be on the inside of a casket. So certainly this could be used as a casket. This is an inexpensive casket. And you can see the size here. There's
exactly an inexpensive casket. Again, if they had over 500K of these things in 2011, you don't think they have probably millions, if not billions of them by now? This was 15 years ago. It freaked everybody out. Everybody was talking about it. Why in the hell do they have all these damn plastic coffins, and who are they planning to allegedly kill? Because again, I mean, you don't prepare for... This is looking like an end of time, you know, planned event, another man-made disaster. This shit is crazy.
lots of room. I think my friends here, we could all probably get inside. It might be a little cozy, but we'd fit just fine. Which tells me that these liners can be used for more than just one.
Exactly.
And one more time, what kind of liners are these?
Casket liners.
These are casket liners. That's what the man said. That's what the man told us. And we're told that there are about, well, there were about 500,000 out here.
Later, as I went back to my home office, I spoke of it there, and of course, people usually don't want to hear too much about this kind of thing. So it's never been mentioned, publicly, except just here and there. Because most, like I said, the reaction I got, people didn't want to know about it, the few people that I spoke to. And so I just dropped it. And until I went to a luncheon, a fundraiser.
And that's what's so interesting, is that people don't want to talk about it until something goes wrong. Then all of a sudden, when something goes wrong, now you want to talk about it. Now, I'm going to show you this other video, because like I said, time's getting away, plus my sleep aid is kicking in. This one, FEMA Coffins investigating FEMA mass graves right here in Houston. I actually found this one today. This was also published in 2011. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't May 7th May Day, or is it after May Day? Okay, no, May Day's further down. So May 7th is 6 days after the satanic holiday, Saint Ichabod blood ritual, drinking of human blood for strength and homage to the demons, any age, male or female. So let's see what they were showing back then about Houston.
crazy. They got more over here. Oh yeah, they're excavating more, huh? They're fixing to make a shot right there. Oh yeah, they're about to excavate some more. That's crazy. Look, they already got a bunch of them on the ground already. That's what they are.
Got one that can.
Now, I wanted to switch to this one because that video, honestly, it was kind of shitty. The quality of it, and then just, he was not doing a good job of recording. Okay, so this one was posted, looks like last year. Remember the CDC FEMA coffins?
See.
Not too long ago.
Oh, is this just the same? Okay, so multiple people were posting that video. I don't want to watch the same one because while it's informative, that guy's voice is making me tired. Which one is this? Is this the same? Yeah, this is the same video. Okay, so there were multiple links with people just basically showing that same one. This is the other one I was looking for. Okay. Now, this one, damn it, I'm trying to scroll down. FEMA coffins found at Phoenix National Memorial Cemetery. And this was June 9th of 2009. Again, none of this is anything new.
Because this is where all of the vaults have now been placed. You can't even tell there's anything there. They're completely covered up and landscaped.
Rolled up to check out a report of FEMA coffins being seen at the Phoenix National Memorial Cemetery. We got a cemetery truck behind us. When asked about the FEMA coffins that have been placed at the Phoenix National Memorial Cemetery, they stated that this is for muddy days, when the rain's too bad to actually bury anybody because of the earth being so damp. In the state of Arizona, we get about 7 inches of rainfall a year. So they have a pretty large number of the known
Okay, the music is getting on my nerves. Because I'm an editor and I can hear the music crescendoing and it's hard to hear her. So that was definitely an amateur that did that video. So I think, let me look one more time. Okay, I think this is the other one I wanted to show you guys. And then let's look at the date.
Alright, thanks for being here.
2016.
Today I want to discuss FEMA camps in America. What is the Federal Emergency Management Agency? Simply put, it is the secret government. This agency has the power and authority to go well beyond any other agency in the nation. So what can FEMA do? It can suspend laws. It can move entire populations. It can arrest, detain citizens without a warrant, and can hold them without a trial. It can seize property, food supplies, and transportation systems. It can even suspend the Constitution of the United States of America. When the first concept had been presented, its original mission was to assure the survivability of the United States government in the event of a nuclear attack. Its secondary function was to be a federal coordinating body during times of domestic disasters. These disasters consist of earthquakes, floods, and hurricanes. The secret black helicopters that are reported throughout the U.S., mainly in Western California, Washington, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Colorado, are flown by FEMA personnel. It has been given the responsibility for many new national disasters such as forest fires, home heating emergencies, refugee situations, riots, and emergency planning for nuclear and toxic incidents. It works together with the 6th Army in the West. A series of executive orders was used to create FEMA. It does not matter whether an executive order is constitutional or not. It becomes a law simply by being published in the Federal Registry. These orders go around Congress. FEMA has set up these camps all across America, each complete with coffins that can hold 4 to 5 bodies each. So why was these camps set up, and why are they spread throughout America? For martial law, that's why. Many things can lead to martial law. A financial implosion in America, a terrorist attack.
Pause. A financial implosion in America, such as what I saw today about the U.S. being insolvent, aka in bankruptcy. Well, the country's, gone to shit financially, so we gotta put you all in FEMA camps type bullshit.
Attack, war, riots, revolt. Many things can cause martial law. This is why these camps are set into place. As Obama's administration continues to creep closer and closer to tyranny, one could only imagine how far he'd go before Americans started to revolt. Lucky for Obama, he's already begun plans to contain the situation, allowing him to progress with his agenda with as little resistance as possible through the use of FEMA camps. We all know Obama is working all hours of the day to try and disarm as much of the population as possible. And although he claims this in the name of American safety, many U.S. citizens know otherwise. But if it were to come to a point where Americans needed to be suppressed in order for the preservation of Obama...
Let's look it up. Agenda 21 is a non-binding action plan of the United Nations with regard to sustainable development. It is a product of the Earth Summit, UN Conference on Environment and Development, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in June 1992. It is an action agenda for the UN, other multilateral organizations, and individual governments around the world that can be executed at local, national, and global levels. One major objective of the Agenda 21 initiative is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Its aim initially was to achieve global sustainable development by 2000, with the 21 in the Agenda 21 referring to the target of the 21st century. What? Okay, no, I don't want to edit anything. I just want you to show what I was showing. Hold on, I shouldn't have did the touch screen. Okay.
You know, more and more, yes, leave the website. More and more, this is insane how much this shit has been planned. Now, Agenda 2030, another sustainable development bullshit. Transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We are determined to end poverty and hunger. Okay, whatever. So the introduction says, we, the heads of state and government and high representatives, meeting at the United Nations headquarters in New York. They've adopted a historical decision on a comprehensive, far-reaching, and people-centered set of universal and transformative goals and targets. So basically they're saying their goal is to end poverty and hunger, even though the current president has been causing more of that. I don't really want to read through all that. I just wanted to get the short of it. So let me just go here. Basically, again, a global action plan adopted by the UN in 2015, which includes 17 sustainable development goals aimed at addressing issues like poverty, inequality, and climate change by the year 2030. It emphasizes a collaborative approach among all countries, basically to get every country to collaborate into one global order to ensure peace, prosperity, and sustainability for people and the planet. So like I said, they have all of these agendas and all these executive orders and all this stuff being put into law, and no one's paying attention to it because everyone's distracted by what they constantly program you to feed into on social media.
His reign to prevail, what would he do? Many everyday Americans are in these secret societies that also run the government. These people can be found in your church or even your best friends.
Notice how the first thing he said about the secret societies that they can be found in your church. And I keep trying to tell y'all about how religion is Luciferian as fuck. People keep thinking because their favorite pastor, minister, bishop, pope is in a position of a title. No, there's no way they could be involved. They're the very ones involved. I'm going to show you guys that Illuminati training video, and then after that, I'm going to end the live and I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow. Okay. You know what? That was my fault. Can you go back? Thank you. Good Lord. Ugh. All I'm trying to do is this. Hold on. There we go. Play the video. Now, for the sake of those that might be, if this is your first time tuning in, or if you didn't catch last night's live, this is called Secret Illuminati Training Video, IllumiCorp. I showed you guys all of this stuff, or at least I tried to show you guys the stuff about IllumiCorp, except for that they took down the entire IllumiCorp website and every other website that talked about IllumiCorp. So again, this was posted on April 17th, 2012. And I actually stumbled across this video and sent it to my friend Amanda, and then we watched it. Like, of course, she was at her apartment, I was at mine, but we were on the phone talking and watching it like, bro, this shit in this video is so fucking creepy. And again, I'm still shocked that they even are allowing this to remain on YouTube, giving all of the other videos that they've scrubbed that talk about this stuff. So that's why I'm going to screen record this, because I know that eventually this is not going to be, it's not going to continue to be available
on YouTube because of how much they're exposing. All right.
Hello, initiates, and welcome to Module 1 of the IllumiCorp video training course. I would like to officially welcome you as a member of the team. You've joined our organization at perhaps the most exciting point in our long history. Our founders shared a passion and dream to transform this country and eventually the whole world into one cohesive organization. When IllumiCorp finishes gaining centralized control over the resources of the planet, and we will, we can then organize, distribute, and govern for the benefit of all. After competition and dissent are eliminated, we will build a utopia for the people of the world to share based on need and rejoice together in a harmonious new world. This presentation is designed to enlighten you about our organization's goals and achievements. As your guide, I will help to answer some basic questions you might have about IllumiCorp and familiarize you with the valuable role you will play in helping us reach our prime objective. So please, take a tour with me as we march together towards an exciting new world.
That's a long ass intro for a documentary. But then again, this is an older video. God damn, the shit was still going now. The intro was damn near 3 minutes, good lord.
All people are aware of class. To them, society is made up of the rich, the middle, and the poor. The one thing that all three classes don't understand is that the pyramid continues upward. There is a detached hidden capstone made up of an elite board of directors who...
Interesting how he said there's an attached elite board of directors. Spiritual wickedness in high places, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places, Ephesians 6 and 12. Yeah. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Elite board of directors, corporations, Rothschilds, all of them. Those at the top, the 13 Illuminati bloodlines, all of that at the top. These are the ones that are truly evil and wicked, because they are the ones running this whole entire situation that we call life.
Own and manage IllumiCorp. The three classes below, in essence, become the assets and resources of IllumiCorp. IllumiCorp is divided into various administrative branches, but each branch has the same 5 levels in their hierarchy. We will begin at the bottom, in the initiate category.
Initiate. Okay. Where is the pyramid? There we go. Initiate, also known as novice. Novice 1 degree, novice witch, 1 degree of craft, knights, Knights of East and West, the Black Brotherhood, organized Satanism and hubs, and the Brotherhood. Notice under novice witch it says today's Illuminati with 6th degree or 6 lifetime positions. Novice 1 degree. Original Bavarian Illuminati with 13 degree. Knights. Tapped candidates. Order of the Skull and Bones. So yeah, this bottom level, this is that initiate level that he's talking about.
As such, your role will be to make sure that your orders are carried out through the sub-corporations and institutions controlled by Lumacorp. You will be placed in plain sight, at the head of a company or institution in the public sector, to carry out the plans delivered from above. Remember, your role is very important. You will be the face of Lumacorp to the outside world. You are our connection to the masses below. Never speak publicly about your orders or your masters. Now let's look at Lumacorp's 6 administrative branches and their functions. You will be placed in a top position of power among one of the following sectors. In this way, as you are monitored and guided from above, you will decide strategy and introduce programs that further our goals. But that is the secret to Lumacorp's success. Control the head, and you control the body. This is potentially Lumacorp's most effective instrument for global control. Through international banking, we manipulate the fate of all countries. We've introduced many institutions, such as the IMF and WTO, that work in our favor to impoverish
IMF, the International Monetary Fund, which is an international financial institution and specialized agency of the United Nations, headquartered in Washington, D.C. Interesting.
Obedient nations. Always remember, debt is a powerful weapon against countries that don't share Lumacorp's vision. Perhaps our greatest achievement in banking is the Federal Reserve System. It is a collection of international banks owned by Lumacorp members and financiers. It was created to form a centralized banking system through the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, an act that was indeed penned by some of our most esteemed members. Many of you might still assume that the government itself prints and issues the currency. That is not the case. When America needs money, they go to our boys and ask for it. The money is printed, but it is only representative of a loan. Interest accrues on that dollar until it is paid back to the Fed. In fact, the federal taxes paid by the American population go almost entirely to paying off this debt. So you see, Lumacorp derives a healthy amount of its operation funding directly from the debt of the public. Needless to say, this is one of our most crucial sources of funding and one of our proudest achievements here at Lumacorp. Through mergers and acquisitions, we have slowly and silently bought up the majority of U.S. industry. Lumacorp and its members own most of the oil, transport, banking, media, food and communications industries in America and abroad. Through fewer and fewer conglomerates, we are able to effect with great precision the machinations of labor and government. Ultimately, corporations will replace government as a centralized international body.
Corporations will replace government. Corporations such as FEMA. Corporations like ICE. FEMA specifically, because once FEMA is in control, like they said, it can cancel out the Constitution, it cancels out police, it cancels out everything. That's the whole point to martial law. Governance, control, domination, no say-so, no more democracy, no choices, no none of that. Just you do what we tell you to do.
That can meet the needs of the public worldwide, without the chaos created by national self-interest. When Lumacorp goes public, corporatism will be the foundation for world government. conglomerates will merge into one cohesive corporation that is responsible only to Illumicorp, needs of its global employment force. Illumicorp's control of the American military is another impressive tool in our possession. We have nurtured these institutions lavishly to serve as the prototype for our global police force. When ready, our
Global police force. We've got Interpol. We've got the UN police force. Then we've got global policemen. It's an informal term for a superpower, the powers that be, which seeks or claims the right to intervene in any sovereign states. It has been used firstly for the UK and since 1945 for the United States. All things I'm sure the average person doesn't even know.
technology and manpower will dominate those who oppose the coming new world order.
Let's run it back a couple of seconds.
Police force, when ready, our technology and manpower will dominate those who oppose the coming new world order.
Our manpower will dominate those who oppose the coming new world order. Translation, also, those who oppose the RFID chip implant, those who oppose taking the mark.
By utilizing American patriotism, we have fostered in the American soldier the philosophy of peace through superior force. When the time is right, we will migrate that mentality towards a belief in a global government who must protect all people through superior force. We have used the American military-industrial complex to build the arsenal necessary to instigate the final cleansing outlined in Illumicorp's Great Plan.
Final cleansing. Ain't that some shit? Clicking on them, yeah, they really did take everything about Illumicorp except for this video off the internet. This is crazy. Damn, video unavailable. They really took all of this shit off the internet, bro. That's crazy.
Our primary target will be Islamic nations who will never submit to our Western-centric domination. They also hold much of the remaining oil reserve of the planet. Illumicorp must own that precious resource, as it is crucial in maintaining our domination over the countries of the world. Through Illumicorp's enormous federal funding of the military, we can develop new forms of warfare and population reduction. The public can't imagine what we are in the process of developing. Soon, even the weather will be a weapon under our control. We will be able to create droughts, floods, hurricanes, and
man-made disasters. And the Mass Preparedness Fatality Act. It kept mentioning in the event of a natural disaster or a man-made disaster. Everything that we see and that surrounds us is orchestrated. It's like a gigantic play where everybody plays their role.
Even tsunamis with no fingerprints attached. The political system of America has been under direct control of Alumacorp for some time. It was actually a relatively easy acquisition, and has been even easier to manage. Politicians know of our unspoken agreement and will do anything to stay in power. A two-party system benefits Alumacorp in that it reduces all issues into a black and white debate. Through media, we can play side against side, using each where necessary to support our goals. Due to a diminishing faith in the system among the public, Alumacorp has designed a rogue candidate program to provide a voice for the dispossessed. This disperses the impetus for dissent among those who do not feel represented by our candidates and builds a database of potential dissidents. At the turn of the last century, Alumacorp took a serious interest in public education. Our Supreme Council realized that by creating a private organization to dictate curriculum on a federal level, children could be conditioned to obedience on a mass scale.
Children can be conditioned into obedience on a mass scale. This is exactly how they're doing it. These devices. You know, I know it's a different time. And Lord knows I love all my nieces and nephews. But when I saw my niece at 3 years old having a smartphone and a tablet, and she's the youngest of the next generation, they want these kids heavily dependent on these devices. They don't even know they're being programmed. TikTok is a programming app. A lot of times when I log on to TikTok, because you know how they automatically launch the videos, it gives like when the CIA back in the day would do either conversion therapy or just torture, where they just flash images in front of you constantly to program you, to fuck with your mind. That's all TikTok is. It's just constant, getting your attention, programming. And this generation, again, those of us that are 80s babies, we know how to live without these devices, but this current generation does not. It's like their whole world comes to an end if they don't have access to a smartphone, which is nothing more than a tracking device and a monitoring device.
In the interest of promoting Alumacorp principles in the classroom, hundreds of millions of dollars were invested to create the General Education Board in 1902. The result of doing this is evident today. The doctrines of public education have transformed recent generations into a weaker, more docile mass. Through meticulously planned curriculum, we have control over the process by which the average child learns. Thus, we can mold them into obedient workers who are conditioned to accept the implementation of the Great Plan. In addition, Alumacorp has set up many associations, including the American Historical Association, that determine and uphold the official view of history. Knowledge is power, so we must at all costs be the authors of the truth. By writing history to suit our interests, dissenting voices cannot gain ground, and we can vastly influence culture to achieve our prime objective. Alumacorp uses the media to shape the public's opinion about current events and condition desired attitudes about our future agenda.
This is, again, it's crazy how everything he's saying is literally what's happening today. Social media conditions everybody so much that unfortunately teenagers and even young adults, you know, will look on social media and feel some type of way about themselves because, oh, well, this person's life looks like it's way better than mine and they're this, they're that. They're conditioning you. When they do these, I call them sacrifices. The random people that keep getting shot and killed. And then all of a sudden that goes viral and the whole world gets angry and people are fighting and arguing and going back and forth in the you know, comments and chats and all of that. Yeah. Social media is the greatest tool for conditioning people. And they don't even realize, like he's saying, for them to condition those people to gain the desired attitudes about their future agenda.
Through news, entertainment, and advertising, we can program a variety of emotions and responses into the collective unconscious. In the past, we were limited entirely to print media, but now we have multiple mediums to utilize in programming and conditioning the masses. With cable news, we have directed the public to a more entertainment-based consumption of world events, infotainment. This medium is far more effective at subliminal reinforcement of desired attitudes towards our objectives. For instance, we are currently instilling a sense of duty towards environmental issues. With our growing control of the weather through HARP and chemtrails, we will scare the public into accepting our global protection agendas. We will then phase into the great cleansing which must occur to return the global population to a manageable size. We reinforce the desired norm through advertising, creating a model for people to live up to that is virtually impossible. The result is an incomplete, desperate individual seeking acceptance.
Like most people on social media, and even YouTube, don't even realize they're being programmed just to become desperate for other people's validation and attention. So I'm gonna have to end the live because, like I said, I'm tired and I can feel myself falling asleep. What I more than likely will do is come back and do a part 2 tonight because there's actually a lot of other stuff I still wanted to show y'all, but I wanted people to see how real this is. How real all of what's happening is, and it's not a conspiracy theory. This is real life happening right in front of our eyes. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in, especially those of you that stayed for the whole live. Thank you. Shout out to my DzPeepz. Shout out to the new subscribers. If this was your first time tuning in, thank you and welcome to D's World. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Family, y'all have a beautiful day.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell.